Hello and welcome to my creative space. Welcome to another DIY video. Today's video is actually a collab with Megan, the Crafty Queen, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit. We do have some winter DIYs that I can't wait to share, so let's get started. For this project, I'm going to be using 2 packs of these snowflakes from Hobby Lobby, a scrap of wood, and I'm going to be using white paint. Ignore the other ones. First thing I'm going to do is get the snowflakes out, and I do end up using all 20 of them. These are so cute. They have shimmer on them and it's very sticked on there. It's not gonna fall off. But anyways, going back, I'm gonna take 4 snowflakes and I'm going to start forming the bottom of this tree. Now this DIY, it's great for now for Christmas if you want to use it for Christmas, and then you can leave it once you clean up all your Christmas stuff and use it for winter decor. It turns out super adorable and it's super easy to do. You just start gluing the snowflakes and then you gave it the shape that you like. I did mine into a tree, but you could even do a snowflake or a letter or whatever you want. The options are endless. Now once I am done gluing all of these pieces together, as you can see, now I'm on to my last ones. I was trying to figure out what to do with those 2 that are left over there, and then I realized that it kind of looks empty there towards the bottom, so we will fix that here in a little bit. And I end up, there we go, I'm gonna glue 1 on each side, and here is our tree. Now I'm gonna take a lighter and run it really fast around the tree just to burn down those strings of glue. I don't like them, so this technique works really great. Now I am going to take my drill in my wooden piece and I'm going to drill a hole right in the middle. You can use a Dollar Tree wooden cube to do this part, and you don't have to drill a hole. You can use a tumbling block to hold it, or even one of those small wooden cubes that they sell. And yeah, that's another option. Now I'm going to go in with my chalk white paint and paint this cube completely in white. And then after I'm done, I'm going to grab my heat gun and dry this, or I guess help it dry a little bit faster. And then if you're ever interested in any of the tools, paint, or anything, just always check the description box because I will have everything linked down below. Now I'm going to take some Dollar Tree glue and I'm going to add it to the top of this piece where we drill the hole. And then I'm going to go in with this fall snow that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add a lot of it to cover up the entire top of it where we added the glue. And then once that is done, I'll turn it around and remove what we don't need, and then with the brush kind of just wiggle it in the hole just to make sure that it's opened up to the next step, which is adding hot glue. And then going in with our little tree, we're gonna sit it right on top, and then we're gonna add a little bit more glue to the front and the back, and we are going to add a lot, or I guess not a lot, we're gonna cover it up the hot glue with the faux snow. And that is all for this project. Super easy to do. I think it turns out adorable. Now let's take a look at the end result. Creative Squad, thank you so much for joining me on another DIY video. Today's video, it's a winter collab with my very good YouTube friend Megan, the Crafty Queen. Me and her go long way back. We kind of started around the same time, and since then we kind of stick around, and she invited me to collab with her and I was so grateful she did. She does amazing DIYs. You want to check out her channel. She's a great person. Actually, recently, funny story, she helped me save my Instagram account. I had no idea somebody had hacked it, and she was like, hey, did somebody hack your account? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so she was so sweet and so nice. She helped me, and thank you so much, Megan, because thanks to you I still have an Instagram account. So be sure to check out her video. It will be linked down below. And if you're coming from her channel, then hi, my name is Wendy and this is my creative space. I hope you like these DIYs, and if you do, consider subscribing. And enough talking, let's jump right back into the video. Thank you so much for watching. for this project, I'm going to take this wooden cutout tree from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to be using these other trees I have from Hobby Lobby and a scrap of wood. You can use this longer piece that Dollar Tree sells. You can leave it as is or you can cut it to the size you needed. And I'm also going to be using these vinyl word cutouts. I have a Cricut machine. I cut them and I had them laying around. And I'm going to use some white paint and those green paints. What I'm going to do first is mix the white and the green paint. I'm going to make it a little bit darker by adding some black paint as well. I'm doing all of this because these greens were too bright for what I was thinking. So once I am done mixing all the colors, this is the beautiful green I came up. Waverly has a green that looks just like it, and that's what I was aiming for. I just did not have that color. And then I took some spackling and I added it to the hole. Now this might not be necessary if you're gonna do what I'm gonna show you here in a little bit, but that is just a tip. If you ever have a sign and you're trying to cover it up, make it look smooth, add some spackling to the holes. Now I'm going in with my paint, giving this tree a good coat of paint. And then after we do that, don't forget the edges, because you want this to look nice and cute, so be sure to get the edges. And then once you are done doing that, then we are going to just make sure everything's smooth before we go to dry it. And to help these paint dry a little bit faster, I'm going to use this heat gun. This specific one is actually from Hippie Crafters, and if you're interested, I will have a link right down below. I love this thing because it really helps me finish my projects a lot faster. And now I'm going to turn it around and finish painting the back. Now I'm going to take my scrap of wood in this Waverly antique wax and a paper towel. I wet the paper towel and I'm going to rub this all over this wooden piece. And then after we are done, we are going to help it dry a little bit faster with our heat gun as well. But yes, so don't forget to get the edges. Ignore those wordings at the bottom. We are going to use the other side, so don't worry about those. Then once we are done, we are going to move to the next step, which is a pencil and a ruler. I'm going to mark where I need to be drilling a hole. Now again, you can use the tumbling blocks to hold this trees, but I'm gonna go in with this drill in where I marked that I need to drill. I'm gonna start drilling some holes. I don't have any specific machines to do like what would that be, like a crevice for us to fit the tree through. So I did a bunch of little holes, and then I took a screwdriver and I kind of started pushing down on it until it kind of opened up that space. Now after that, I kind of started rubbing the same screwdriver, and then I was having problems with it, and so I decided to grab my as you can see, I tried the tree and it would not fit in there. So I was like, what am I going to do? And then I took the drill and I kind of started running it sideways instead. And it worked a lot better. Then I was able to create a space big enough to fit the tree. And off camera, I will be doing the exact same thing, just creating big enough spaces for the other two little trees. Now, next, I am taking the tree and placing my wording on it with some tape just to hold it there so I can do this part. So I decided to add a little bit of snow to my tree, and for that, I use hot glue. So what I did is add a bunch of glue to the top 3 corners of this tree, and then I go in with some acrylic white paint and paint that glue once it's dried. I saw somebody do it somewhere. I don't remember where, but they actually had white hot glue, and then they just go in and add that white glue on there and it looks like snow. And I was like, that's such a great idea. So I decided to do it, and I would just paint on top of it. I don't know if I love it, but I think it ends up looking really, really good. Let me know what you think down below. Now, as you can see, now I'm going in, this time actually placing every single word on there. And as you can see, that U was kind of stubborn, so I had to fix it, but there we have it. And then I'm gonna keep doing that until I finish adding all 3 words to the tree. And then once we are done, we are actually going to move on to putting all the pieces together. And here they are. So what I'm going to do is add some hot glue to the crevices, and then I'm going to start adding the trees. I'm starting with the big one and then just pushing it in there. And once it's secured, I'm going to continue with the other two trees. Now these little trees are so adorable. I love them. They're from Hobby Lobby. It was a pack of 4. I already used 2 on a wreath I did on one of my previous videos. I will link it at the very top. It should be showing on your right top. If you're interested, check it out. And then once that is done, that completes the project. Now let's take a look at the end result. For this project, I'm going to be using this ornament from Dollar Tree, as well as this snowflake and these 2 other clear, beautiful snowflakes. I'm also going to use some white paint. What I'm going to do first is spray paint the metal snowflake off camera. Next, I'm going to take the ornament and I'm going to remove the greenery, the berry, and the little pine cone. Now, I was a little bit aggressive and I kind of peeled it off a little bit too much. So I'm having to go back in there and kind of fix my mistake for being a little bit. And so I'm having to go in and fix this. And so what I could glue back, I glue it back, but then I was missing some pieces. So I used the pine cone to cover that up. And I think we're good. Now the next step is going to be painting this snowflake with white. I tried to peel off that piece of fabric on it, but it was not easy. So I figured that my best bet was to just paint it and leave it alone. And so that's what I did. Now this has some really strong colors on it, so I had to do 2 coats of it, and then after that we were good. And here is what it looks like. Now I'm going to take my drill and drill a hole right in the middle. We are going to be adding a snowflake right there. So here, if you're going to be using this snowflake, this clear snowflake, you definitely need a hole in there to hold it. Otherwise, then switch to flat snowflakes to be able to glue a tumbling block in the back or something along those lines. Now, as you can see now, I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the center, and then I'm going to take my first snowflake, that clear one, and I'm going to glue it into place. Then once it's completely glued in there, this is what it looks like. Now you can stop here. It looks adorable, but if you're like me, and I know that by now you probably already know that I like challenging gravity, and so what I'm gonna do now is stack snowflakes. So I take the middle one that we spray painted and I'm going to stick it in between this clear one. They actually have spaces big enough for this one to fit. So after that one is secured, I take the third snowflake, add some hot glue, and then I sit it right on top in between that metal snowflake. And then once that one is there, I kind of hold it there for a little bit, make sure it's gonna stay in place. And then we jump into the last step. Now I went and picked up these letters from Michael's. They were about $2.50, and then I'm going to grab this metallic acrylic paint and I'm going to paint them. Now I wanted something a little bit more stronger than vinyl, and so these letters came in so handy, and I wanted to spell the words "let it snow," one word for each snowflake, and I think this turns out adorable. I was so much more happy once I added the wording onto them. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, as you can see, I'm gluing each letter into place, and that completes this project. I loved how this turned out. Let me show you the end result. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. And if you like any of these DIYs, let me know in the comments down below. And I also hope you will consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next DIY. Bye.